Welcome to the Liminal Observer, Episode 3, Who is Paying Attention?
Thank you. It's great to be diving into this one.
Yeah, I'm really excited. So to start us off, I want you to just think about what you were doing like 10 minutes ago.
Right.
Maybe you were, scrolling on your phone and you intended to check just one specific work email.
Just one.
Right, just one. And then suddenly you're deeply invested in a 20-minute video about, I don't know, deep sea squids or something.
Oh, yeah. We've all been there.
We walk around telling ourselves that we are the captains of our own ships, making these conscious, deliberate choices about what to look at and what to care about.
But we aren't really.
Exactly. If you're really the captain, how did you end up so far off course without even realizing you handed over the wheel?
It's a slightly terrifying realization when you finally stop to actually notice it.
It really is.
And that title you just read, that comes directly from this remarkable document we're doing a deep dive on today.
Mm.
It's structured almost like a philosophical script, honestly. And it poses this one central, genuinely dizzying question.
Which is?
Do you follow your attention, or does your attention lead you?
Wow. Yeah, that kind of breaks your brain a little bit right out of the gate.
It does. And our mission for this deep dive is to unpack that document, looking at the mystery of human attention through two very distinct lenses.
Right, the scientific and the philosophical.
Exactly. So first, the clinical sort of mechanical framework of modern psychology, and then the profound insights of ancient Hindu thought.
And I should clarify for everyone listening, we are not coming to this as enlightened gurus or final authorities.
Certainly not.
Right. We're just curious Westerners wanting to explore this mystery right alongside you. The stated goal of the source document is curiosity over certainty. And we're adopting that completely today.
Yeah, we are seeking wonder, not closure here.
Exactly. So let's start with how weird our everyday experience of attention actually is. My working hypothesis has always been that attention is kind of like a spotlight in a massive dark theater.
Okay, I like that visual.
Right, like I feel like I'm the lighting director. I grab the handles, I aim that bright beam directly at the stage because there's a play happening and I need to do the focused work of watching it.
Right, you're in control.
Or I think I am. But realistically, half the time, that spotlight snaps completely on its own.
Oh, absolutely.
Like someone drops a candy wrapper in the back row and the light just violently swings over to illuminate it. I didn't push the handles, the light moved itself.
It's a really vivid visual, but it implies you're still separate from the light.
Yeah.
Like you're just occasionally losing your physical grip on the machinery.
Which is giving myself too much credit, I guess.
Well, the source material takes it a step further by pointing out that it's not just external noises hijacking us. It's internal, too. Like you can be washing the dishes completely at peace, and suddenly you are vividly reliving a moderately embarrassing conversation you had, like 5 years ago.
Oh man, the shower arguments. It's always the shower.
Exactly. You didn't consciously cue up that memory. It just arrived, and your attention was instantly tethered to it.
So it's something happening to us, not something we're doing.
Right. And the text suggests that when we realize we don't fully command our own internal spotlight, well, attention stops being this mundane tool and becomes one of the greatest mysteries of human experience.
Which naturally brings us to how science tries to solve that mystery, right? Because modern psychology hates a vacuum.
It really does.
And it spent decades trying to map out exactly why that spotlight goes rogue. The document actually lists a whole vocabulary for this.
Right, concepts like selective attention, salience, cognitive filtering.
Yeah, curiosity, motivation, the unconscious mind. But, those sound like terms from a computer manual,
They kind of do, yeah.
So how is the biological hardware actually achieving this?
Well, we have to look at the brain as a survival engine. One that is constantly dealing with a severe data bottleneck.
A bottleneck, okay.
Yeah, because at any given second, millions of bits of sensory information are hitting your nervous system.
Like the temperature of the room or...
The hum of the refrigerator, yeah.
Yeah.
The feeling of your socks against your skin, the shifting light from the window.
Right, stuff you're ignoring.
Exactly, because if your conscious mind had to process all of that simultaneously, it would just crash.
Blue screen of death, but for your brain.
Precisely. So the brain relies on structures like the amygdala and the basal ganglia to act as basically bouncers at the doors of your consciousness.
Okay, I love the bouncer analogy.
Right. They're constantly scanning all this incoming data completely below the level of your awareness.
So they're out there deciding what actually gets into the VIP room of my conscious mind.
Yes, and they make that decision based on what psychologists call salience.
Salience. Okay.
In neuroscience, salience refers to how much a piece of information stands out relative to, well, your survival, your active goals, or your well-being.
So if a tiger walks in, that's highly salient.
Very salient. When the bouncer sees something highly salient, a sudden loud noise, a fast movement in your peripheral vision, or even just hearing your own name spoken across a crowded room.
Oh, the cocktail party effect.
Exactly. It tags that information chemically. It releases a tiny hit of dopamine or noradrenaline.
Just a little chemical flag.
Right. And that chemical tag acts as an alarm bell, physically forcing your prefrontal cortex to shift the spotlight. It's a highly evolved, entirely unconscious sorting mechanism designed to keep you alive.
Okay, I mean, I understand the evolutionary logic. If there's a sudden rustle in the bushes, the bouncer better let that information in immediately, or I'm a predator's lunch.
Right. Survival of the most attentive.
But this purely mechanical view, this idea that we're just biological spam folders sorting data into important and junk based on chemical tags,
It feels a bit cold.
it feels terribly incomplete. It explains survival, but it totally misses the poetry of human experience.
What do you mean?
Well, think about the last time you read a novel that made you lose all track of time, or you heard a piece of music that literally gave you goosebumps.
Oh, yeah.
You weren't calculating survival metrics in that moment, you were enchanted.
Right.
Does a sterile phrase like cognitive filtering really account for the soul of what it means to be absolutely spellbound?
That friction you're feeling with the scientific vocabulary, that is entirely justified. And it actually serves as the exact pivot point of the document we're looking at.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Psychology brilliantly explains the hardware, right? It maps the neural pathways. It identifies the chemical tags.
The mechanics of the spotlight.
Yes. But the source material suggests that looking only at the brain's mechanics leaves a massive philosophical blind spot.
Okay, what's the blind spot?
Science gives us the algorithms that move the spotlight, but it completely ignores the entity standing in the dark watching the light move.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that is such a crucial distinction.
It changes the whole game.
It really does.
Oh?
And to address that blind spot, the document asks us to separate three things we usually just sort of blur together into one messy concept.
Right. Those three being thoughts, attention, and awareness.
Exactly. And to make this tangible, let's use an experience I think everyone listening has probably had at some point.
Oh, the reading glitch.
The reading glitch. You're reading a dense book, you read a whole page, your eyes track every single line, you get to the very bottom, and you realize you have absolutely no idea what you just read.
A classic glitch in the system. The optic nerve was doing all the mechanical work, but conscious processing was just completely absent.
Right, because internally, I was vividly planning what I was going to eat for lunch.
Prioritizing the sandwich.
Always. But here's the part that kind of breaks my brain in the best possible way.
Lay it on me.
In that moment at the bottom of the page, I suddenly catch myself. I snap back to reality and realize my mind wandered. But if I am my attention, and my attention was genuinely fully absorbed in a daydream about a sandwich.
Who just noticed that your attention had wandered?
Exactly. Who caught me?
That is the core puzzle of the text. If you were solely your attention, you would never be able to catch it wandering.
Because there'd be no one else home.
Right. There would be nothing outside of the attention to do the catching. The fact that you can observe your own distraction implies a distinct hierarchy.
Okay, break that hierarchy down for me.
Well, first there is the thought, which is the mental image of the sandwich.
Okay.
Then there is the attention, which is the spotlight illuminating that image.
Got it.
And then there's awareness, the vast underlying presence that actually registers the movement of the spotlight from the book to the daydream.
Which means we have to look far beyond a psychology textbook to understand that deeper awareness.
Absolutely. And that is why the document turns to ancient Hindu philosophy.
Right. And not as a set of religious dogmas, but basically as thousands of years of field notes on human consciousness.
Yes, exactly. They've been exploring this exact question for millennia. The text actually offers 4 distinct frameworks to understand this observer.
Let's go through them.
Sure. Let's start with Advaita Vedanta.
Okay.
To grasp this, we need a really quick primer on the concept of non-dualism. In non-dualistic thought, everything in existence is ultimately made of one single unified reality.
So no true separation between the observer and the observed?
Right. Applied to our minds, Advaita posits that while your thoughts and your attention are constantly flickering and changing shape, the underlying awareness never moves. It is absolute, silent, and entirely still.
I have to admit, I really wrestled with Advaita Vedanta when reading this.
Why is that?
Well, if awareness is totally unmoving, it sounds like a blank movie screen.
Okay, that's a fair analogy.
The thoughts, the anxiety, the daily dramas we deal with, that's the movie playing on the screen. The screen holds the movie, but the fabric of the screen isn't altered at all by the explosions or the romance happening on it.
It remains completely unaffected.
Right, but it feels so passive, like I'm just a detached spectator to my own life.
I see what you mean.
Is there a framework that gives me a bit more agency, or at least acknowledges that my chaotic mind and my silent awareness feel like two very different things?
Yes, and that desire for distinction leads us perfectly into the second framework, which is Samkhya.
Samkhya.
Samkhya is fundamentally a dualistic philosophy. So imagine a universe made of two entirely different, uncompromising substances that just happen to interact.
So the opposite of the non-dualism we just talked about.
Exactly. On one side, you have nature and the material world. Crucially, Samkhya includes your mind, your intellect, and your shifting attention as part of that material nature.
Oh, so the mind is just matter.
Yes, it's a chaotic, flowing river of energy. On the other side, completely separate from nature, you have the observer, or the Purusha, which is pure consciousness.
So in Samkhya, my mind getting distracted by a shiny object isn't a moral failure.
Not at all.
It's just nature acting like nature. A river flows, and my true self is just sitting on the riverbank watching the water go by?
Right. It provides a tremendous amount of psychological relief, honestly, because you stop identifying with the turbulence of the water.
You're just on the bank.
Exactly. However, as you hinted at earlier, sometimes you cannot afford to just watch the river. Sometimes you need to build a dam or direct the water to irrigate a specific field.
Right, you need to actually do something with your attention. Which brings in the third perspective, yoga.
Yes. And to be clear, the text is talking about classical yoga philosophy, not the stretching classes at the local gym.
Right, not doing a downward dog to fix your attention span.
No, no. Yoga treats attention like a tangible tool. It views it as a mental muscle that can be actively disciplined.
Through meditation and practice.
Through rigorous meditation, ethical practice, and intense focus, yes. Yoga suggests you can actually grab the handles of that spotlight and force it to be still. You can train the mind to stop its incessant flickering.
Which sounds like an incredible superpower, I'll be honest, but also impossibly exhausting.
It takes a lot of work.
Right, because holding a heavy spotlight perfectly still requires a massive, continuous expenditure of willpower.
It's a heavy lift.
Eventually, your arms are going to give out. And I think that exhaustion is why I connected most deeply with the fourth perspective in the text.
The bhakti traditions.
Yes, the path of devotion. It takes a completely different angle on the problem of mental effort.
It really does. It flips the script.
Bhakti argues that trying to wrestle your attention into submission through sheer willpower is just a losing battle.
Right.
Think about your own life, you know?
Yeah.
You never have to force yourself to pay attention to a gripping thriller movie.
No, you're just locked in.
Or to the voice of someone you are deeply in love with across a crowded room. In those moments, your attention isn't forced. It flows naturally, like gravity pulling water down a hill.
It's effortless.
Exactly. Bhakti suggests that attention naturally and effortlessly follows what the heart loves. So instead of fighting your chaotic mind, you simply cultivate profound love for a higher ideal, and your attention just magnetically aligns itself.
It's a beautiful synthesis of emotion and focus, really. And what stands out across all these ancient frameworks is that they aren't competing for supremacy.
Right, the text makes that clear.
The still screen of Advaita, the separate riverbank of Samkhya, the disciplined muscle of yoga, and the magnetism of bhakti, they're all just different doors leading into the exact same mystery.
But reading about the door isn't the same as actually walking through it.
No, it's not.
The document calls this next phase the experiential turn, because talking about consciousness analytically is, well, it's like trying to bite your own teeth.
Or a flashlight trying to shine a beam on its own bulb.
Yes, great analogy. If you follow the logic we've laid out, the paradox just becomes undeniable.
Right. If your thoughts can be observed as they bubble up and pass away.
And if your attention can be observed as it shifts from a book to a daydream.
Then what exactly is the entity doing the observing?
Let's stop talking around it and actually test it.
I love this part.
If you are listening to this right now, I want you to do a live experiment with us. Don't change what you're doing, just tune into your own head.
Just pay attention.
Wait for a thought to form, any thought at all. It could be a judgment about what I'm saying or, a sudden urge to check your phone. Just notice the thought arriving.
Give it a second to show up.
Got it. Okay, now, deliberately shift your spotlight away from that thought and put it entirely on the physical sensation of your own breathing.
Right, just the feeling of the air moving in and out of your lungs.
Keep it there for just a moment.
Just breathe.
Now, let the spotlight zoom out. What remained constant when your focus shifted from my voice to your thought to your breath?
Who just watched that entire sequence happen?
That direct investigation is the ultimate ambition of the source document.
Right, it isn't trying to hand you an academic definition of consciousness to just memorize for a test. It's trying to provoke you into experiencing the profound gap between your thoughts, your attention, and your awareness firsthand.
It's a wild feeling when you finally catch a glimpse of that gap.
It really is.
It's a true liminal space. You realize that the version of yourself you identify with every single day, the bundle of stressed out thoughts, opinions, and frantic attention, is just the weather.
The weather, yeah.
But the real you, the silent observer watching it all happen, is the sky.
The sky. We started today by asking why certain ideas hijack our focus.
Right.
We look at the survival mechanisms of the brain, the chemical tags of salience, and the ancient maps of human consciousness. But perhaps the true mystery is not how attention moves.
What is it then?
Perhaps the deepest mystery is the very existence of the observer.
And as we build a world increasingly driven by advanced technology, that mystery is only going to get stranger and, honestly, more urgent.
Definitely. I mean, think about it. We are currently building artificial intelligence models with architectures literally called self-attention mechanisms.
Right. The AI is learning to focus.
We are designing machines that can prioritize data, filter out noise, and focus on what is salient. An AI can possess attention. But does an AI have an observer?
Wow.
If attention is just a mechanical sorting process, maybe we are successfully replicating the spotlight. But can a machine ever be the sky?
That is heavy.
That is the provocation we want to leave you with. The next time you find yourself captivated by a screen, ask yourself, if an algorithm is directing my attention, who's left in the dark, watching it happen?
Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings in all worlds be happy and free.